Hello students, today I will be dealing with the summary of the chapter The Tiger King, which is present in Vista's book and written by Kalki. Students, when Maharaja Jilani Jung Bahadur was born, the astrologers had foretold that one day this king would die. Now the 10-day-old Jilani Jung Bahadur started speaking, and he told them that all those born would have to die one day. The ordinary thing that whoever the person is born will have to die some or the other day. So he told the same thing to the astrologers, and he asked the astrologers to tell the manner of his death. If they could reveal the manner of his death, it would be rather much better. Everyone was stunned at this point of time, and an infant who was just 10-year-old had started uttering and speaking, and just not speaking but intelligent talk was being done. So this was something very unusual thing, my dear students, in such a manner. And then the chief astrologer told that the prince that he was born in the hour of the bull, and as bull and tiger were enemies, and so his death would actually come from the tiger only. And the royal arrogance surfaces when the infant pronounced the particular dialogue, "Let tigers beware." So with this we come to know that actually a revenge came into the heart of Jilani Jung Bahadur when he was just a 10-day-old child, an infant you can say. Now moving ahead, my dear students, the Maharaja grew stronger, and he grew up, and he took to tiger hunting, and he overjoyed whenever he killed the first tiger. He was filled with joy when he killed the first tiger, and then later on he kept on killing the tigers. And when he actually killed his first tiger, he even told the chief astrologer that he had killed the first tiger, and he was overjoyed with that. And the chief astrologer told him that he may kill even 99 tigers in the same way, but he should be careful with the 100th tiger. So it's not easy. So in a span of about 10 years, he killed about 70 tigers, and he banned the killing of tigers in Pratibandhapuram, and no one apart from the king could actually hunt the tigers in Pratibandhapuram. And so at a point of time, the tigers population became extinct in Pratibandhapuram, and so the Maharaja, on the advice of the Diwan, actually he got married to a princess of his state, and the tiger population, whether tiger population was much large, and he would do a tiger hunting whenever he went to his father-in-law's kingdom over there, and he killed tigers over there, and he managed to kill and take up the tally to 99 tigers, and there was still one tiger left to complete the tally of 100 tigers. Now there was no sign of tigers anywhere else he could find, and the Maharaja could not bear it anymore. He was still worried that that 100 tiger would actually kill him, just as what the chief astrologer had said, and he raised the land tax and also dismissed some of his men, where earlier he actually he heard that there is a tiger in a nearby village, and he went over to that village and he waited for too long, but he just couldn't find it, and so that is why. So he just doubled the land tax. First of all, he removed the taxation from that exemption. The exemption of that village people were exempted from 3 years exemption of the taxation, but later on then we find that it was just doubled. The land tax was just doubled. So finally the Diwan arranged for a tiger, and which was brought before him, and that was brought from People's Park in Madras, and it was dragged and driven to the forest, and where it could easily be spotted by the Maharaja, by the Tiger King. And the Maharaja had taken his men along with him for hunting, and he shot the tiger. The king shot the tiger, and it seemed as if it dropped dead over there. But what happened, my dear students, the joyful Maharaja actually did not notice that the tiger was actually much a weak tiger, and it was no, and he hadn't been killed, and it was just that the tiger was fainted actually at that point of time just by the shot of the bullet. So he got fainted by the shot of the bullet, and the Maharajas knew that if they reveal the real truth before the Maharaja, there is a chance that they could even lose their jobs even, and so they killed the tiger themselves. And the Maharaja did not knew that, and he still had one tiger left in his own tally of 100 to be killed, and so the Maharaja was able to kill only 99 tigers. Then Maharaja had to attend his own 3-year-old son also. His birthday had come, and he wanted to do a wonderful celebration for him, and he wanted to give him a wonderful gift also. Now he just went to the shop into the market of Pratibandhapuram, and he tried seeing into the lovely things what he could see, but he didn't just actually got that proper real toy or real thing, a real gift for the child what he could actually have for his own son. So finally later on when he reached one shop, he saw different things, but his eyes just fixed on one particular thing, and that was a wooden tiger that was unsharpened, unclean, and not properly done and it was made by an unskilled carpenter. Its surface was rough, and a wood slivers actually could be seen on that wooden toy tiger. Now what happened, a wood sliver actually pierced into the Maharaja's hand, and the next day the infection spread into his whole body, and on his hand, and then later on into his whole body, and later on 3 surgeons actually came and they performed the operation, but they were actually not able to save the life of the Maharaja. Thus we see that the fateful 100th tiger was not the real tiger, it was actually a wooden tiger, and that was the cause of the Maharaja's death, and that proved the prediction of the astrologer correct, that the astrologer was correct, and the king wasn't able to save his own life. With this we come to the end of the summary of the chapter, The Tiger King. Thank you.